Welcome, curious crafters, to the 1 hour Saturday Spotlight. Today, we'll be highlighting Froggy went a knitting. All one word, just in case. Any questions seen will be asked at the end when Miss Jennifer's main 1 hour interview is up. Now, Jennifer, I see you down there. They don't see you yet. But please try and ignore the chat as best you can. Ignore the screen completely. There's nothing to look at over here. Now, when you're ready, please give me a thumbs up and I'll start the stopwatch. Welcome in.
Thank you for having me.
I'm hoping it's going to be a wonderful pleasure, my darling. Okay.
I'm excited.
Right, let's get this party started. The countdown has begun. Jennifer, What inspired you to start YouTube?
Honestly, what inspired me to start YouTube was, well, my son always wanted to have a YouTube channel. So I was the one that went ahead and started a YouTube channel.
Well, that's one way to start. I'm first.
Yeah.
Can you remember? I'm hoping you can. What was your very first video?
Oh, my very first video was introducing myself and showing some yarn and telling people a little bit about myself.
That's a really good way to start. Introductions, get them over and done with. Good girl. Now, for all of us have never known you. None of us know who the heck you are. Can you please describe your channel to us? What is it about?
I am simply Froggywentaknitting, the blind crocheting knitter.
That very puts it pretty simple.
Very simply.
Now, I may as well get this out there. You've just stated that you are blind.
Mm-hmm.
For people that aren't aware, can you describe your blindness to them, please?
Absolutely. I am considered legally blind. I have macular degeneration and diabetic retinopathy. And what this means is I see 20/400 with glasses out of this eye and 20/200 with this eye with a loss of my central vision. So I actually see peripherally with my eyes, which kind of seems a little odd. An easy way to explain that to most lay people is what you see 400 feet away is what I see 20 feet away. What you see 200 feet away is what I see 20 feet away. And mind you, I'm doing it with my peripheral vision, not with my central vision. My central vision has a hole in it. So while you're looking at the chat, imagine a black line down the dead center of it. I can't see that. It's completely gone for me. It's, just how it is.
The good thing is I'm guessing you've had this the majority of your life?
No, it actually started to develop over a period of time. I was declared legally blind in 2017. Oh. But it started a few years before that. But I've learned to adapt rather quickly.
Well, for that we thank you, because if you hadn't have adapted, I probably don't think you'd be here.
No.
So, good girl, well done. Now, you've stated that you're basically a yarnie. Let's stick you down to a yarnie. Stick you in a jar. What is your favourite thing to make? Whether that be knitting or crochet or anger bombs, whatever it might be.
Everything.
Not one particular thing?
I don't have one particular thing. When it comes to knitting, though, my favorite thing to knit is socks. But when it comes to crochet, I don't have a favorite thing to crochet.
So, okay, let's go with the socks. Mm-hmm. Let's imagine everybody needs socks. Well, no, we don't need the socks, but socks are nice. They're comforting. Why
Mhm.
do you prefer socks to anything else?
Oh, I prefer socks because I can do them in different styles, like little shorty socks, or I can do socks that have little cables on them. See, it's got a cable and
Oh,
it's got
wow.
cute, pretty colors. Or I can do socks that are lacy and they don't take me a lot of
Oh my
time.
gosh.
Or I can do socks that are rainbows.
Do you know
And
what? I'm not a bright coloured fan, but I am loving those socks.
see, and they don't take me a lot of time to make. So I like the socks because knitting is a slower process than crochet is. And I can hand knit the socks in a very short period of time, usually about before vision loss, I can knit socks in 2 days. With vision loss, it takes me a week. But
But still, you get them made.
they're very quickly done, and I can do all different kinds of patterns along the leg and the foot of the sock. So trying out everything from cables to lace work to different color work, it's a lot of fun.
I've got to say, I think I know what's on my Christmas list. I do like good socks. So, hint, hint, wink, wink.
Hand knit socks.
Okay. I love socks. I do. If you could see my sock drawer. Okay. You don't want to see my sock drawer, honest. Okay. With either of your two crafts, whether it be the crochet, whether it be the knitting, do you actually sell them?
Yes, I sell everything I make.
So where do you sell them?
I have an Etsy store
Mm-hmm.
and I have a Shopify store. I also sell them to just people in my regular everyday life, people at church, people that are friends of the family. That I sell them that way. I've sold people that saw me on Facebook, people who have seen me on YouTube have purchased from me, people who see my Instagram message me and want to purchase the items I've made.
I'm so pleased that you're really out there. It's not just one place. It's like anywhere and everywhere I possibly can. My socks are worldwide, as well as other things. There are other things, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Would you be willing for us to put your links in the description
sure.
afterwards?
Sure.
And then if anybody, obviously watching the replay, they can come and have a nosy in your shop
Yeah,
without making too much of a mess.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, with your different items, how do you go about pricing them?
The way I go and I price my items is I obviously charge for my materials and then I charge for my time, how long I actually spend working on that particular item and the difficulty involved in the item.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be, you know, this may look extremely difficult to someone. However, it's not as difficult per se as the lace work involved in this one.
I like that.
It's got a lot more difficulty in it because it's lace work.
Mm-hmm.
As you go with a sock like this, which is just a very simple sock, it's no difficulty. So
I
do
will just very quickly state for the people in the chat, very quickly, she doesn't just do socks. This isn't the sock channel, but
no,
it's her main thing. We'll get there. Hang on, Froggy, we will get there. Don't worry.
I have
But people in the chat, you guys in the chat, don't worry. Cheesy trotters can be covered, but that isn't all she does. So just bear with it.
I have many more.
I'm waiting to find out, but we will get there, I promise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when it comes to again, whenever I say these questions, it's going to be one of your crafts. I'll just say crochet knitting now, or it'll be your YouTube channel. So if I say your craft, it's either or. Okay.
Sure.
So what is your favorite medium, your favorite material to work with your craft?
Superwash wool.
Have you got that, guys? Do you want her to say it one more time? Just say it one more time, Froggy. Say the no.
Superwash wool.
There you go. Anybody wanting to get Miss Froggy a certain Christmas present? Hint, hint. Okay, Jennifer. What would you say is your main crafting strength?
I would say my main strength is probably my knowledge because of how long I've been doing it.
Which is?
I have been crocheting since 1975.
And knitting?
I've been knitting since 2005.
Oh, wow. See, now I expected it would have been the other way around.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so your strength is your knowledge, which certainly is a darn good strength no matter who or where you are or what you're doing. So kudos to you, Mrs. Weaknesses, we all have them. What is Jennifer's?
My weakness has become my blindness because when I crochet or knit, I do it completely by feel. I no longer use my eyes to crochet or knit. So as I'm crocheting, I actually crochet by feeling the stitches and do it. I may put my head down because of habit of looking at it. But when I'm looking at it, I don't see it at all. A good example for people is next time you want to crochet or knit, put on a blindfold and then you do it. And tell me how well you do. I can still do these crafts, but however, I'm slower at it because it's completely by feel.
That's got to be a skill in itself, that has.
Yeah, it is it's my weakness. That's my weakness, is not being able to see it.
I would probably go for that, and I don't think I want to take you up on the challenge of the blindfold. I really don't, because even when I can see, I still stab myself with a crochet hook. So I'll pass on the blindfold if you don't mind.
Not a problem.
Now, Froggywentaknitting. What made you pick that channel name?
Actually, I didn't choose my name. My dad did.
Oh.
I've been collecting frogs since I was a young girl. Frog stands for fully rely on God.
Oh.
So I've been collecting frogs. And when I wanted to learn to knit, I took some classes and I kept failing at it. And I finally had to self-teach how to knit. And when I learned how to knit, my dad looks at me and he says, "Wow, Froggy went a knitting," as in frog went a courting.
Yeah.
So he just quoted the term Froggy went a knitting and it stuck. And it ended up being my store name and my business name, and it has stuck with me ever since. So when I created the YouTube channel, I had to use my business name, which is Froggywentaknitting, because my father coined the term.
I love it. And you've just, I have to say this isn't really part of the interview, but I've got to go there. Your nails, my darling, please, let's have a look at those nails. Look at those claws. People, look at the claws. Sorry, I just saw you flash them a couple of times and I'm like, I've got to have a close-up of them. Thank you ever so much, Miss Jennifer. That wasn't part of the interview. Let's get professional.
They're that way for a reason, just so you know. Ooh. I brightly color my nails for a reason. Being visually impaired, I need to be able to see the end of my finger. And with a brightly colored fingernail, I'm able to see the end where my fingers are. When I'm looking at something or pointing at something, I can see the end of my finger.
Practicality.
With a brightly colored nail. So it's not just the fact that I like the bright colors, it actually has a practical use.
I wonder if any other women can get away with saying that as an excuse.
Works great.
Yeah, it works for frogs. Okay, so with your YouTube channel, let's put it blunt, why on earth should we subscribe to you?
why should you? You should subscribe to Froggy because you can have lots of fun. I love to come to make people happy. That it would be the best thing I think I would like people to know about me. I want to make you happy. I want you to come in and have a great time with Froggy. Just come in, relax, enjoy yourself, and be happy.
I think that's a pretty good reason.
Mm-hmm.
I feel all warm and snuggly now. Okay, with your YouTube, with your craft, how do you go about finding time for both?
Oh, I have plenty of time. I don't work anymore being blind. I live in a rural area, and where I live there's no jobs for people who are blind. So all I can do really is just, crochet or knit and sell my items. And it was natural to reach out on social media to get more customers. And so doing YouTube was another platform to reach out to people. And it was just a natural thing. And I fell in love with YouTube because it opened up a whole community of crafters. And I've enjoyed it because I've met so many people out there that are like me, that are also blind, that craft. It's amazing. I love it. So it was just a natural progression with my business to go ahead and do YouTube.
And I guess, sorry.
Finding time is absolutely simple because remember, I don't have to look at it. So I can be on YouTube and crocheting and you may never know it.
It's quite scary. Okay. The multitasking, it just goes above and beyond a little bit more than a normal woman. Scary. Okay. So with YouTube itself, what has been your biggest failure?
My biggest failure for me has been doing tutorials. I have a bunch of my own patterns that I've written, and I want to do tutorials on them, and that is my biggest failure, trying to film my tutorials to where they come out clear and not blurry. Because remember, being visually impaired, getting things to come in focus is difficult for me.
Yeah.
And I have tons of tutorials that are so blurry, people can't see them. So I am constantly trying to film tutorials clearly so that I can put them on my channel. I'm really excited to get it done. I've been wanting to do that since day one coming on YouTube.
Oh.
I will get it done. Froggy will get it done. It just will take time. It's going to get done. But that is my biggest failure. Biggest failure is putting out my tutorials.
Okay, but there's determination there. So
yes,
good girl. So let's go to the opposite end of the spectrum. Success. What has been your biggest success? I think I know what's coming, and you can go for it. You can do your normal. Go for it.
I got monetized.
And the froggy dance commences.
I never imagined in my life that people would want to subscribe to me. I didn't think I would get 100 people to subscribe ever. And when I did, I was blown away. And then when I got to 1,000, I was like, no way that there's 1,000 people out there that want to look at Froggy. I mean, seriously? And then I got monetized. I'm so excited. I mean, it's unbelievable. And now I'm over 1,500 subscribers. How are there that many people in the world that want to watch Froggy?
Look at her go. It's like you wind her up and just watch her go.
I'm like so excited about it. It's unbelievable. It makes me super happy and excited. And I love everyone out there with it. It's just, it's unbelievable excitement. I like to make everyone happy, and they bring me such joy every day. I can't begin to tell you. I'm trying.
You've begun, but you can keep going every time we come into your channel, Froggy. You can tell us each time. So, with your craft, what has been your biggest failure?
The blindness.
We can't keep making the excuses with the blindness. We can't have that for every answer.
Oh, it's not an excuse. My biggest failure right now is trying to put heels on my socks, because trying to pick up stitches that are that small when you can't even see them, and it's difficult to pick them up. So right now, that's my failure. I'm working on it and trying to figure out a way for me to do it, because I do what's called an afterthought heel. Matter of fact, Froggy can probably show you.
I love this. And I happen to have one here. Ta-da!
I happen to have one. I knit my socks. See, I knit the whole sock. And I put in something blank there. See the white string?
Yeah.
And I'll go through and I'll pick up the stitches above and below the string, and I'll pull that out. And then I'll knit the heel. Well, because of the blindness, I'm having difficulty picking up the stitches on either side of that white yarn. Right. So that's Froggy's biggest failure. I will get it done. It's just taking time. So
getting it done slow but sure is better than giving up. So
I will finish those socks. It
Look
might
at that determined face.
It won't be today. It won't be tomorrow, but it will happen. Well, I don't care if it takes me 5 years. I will finish those socks.
Good girl. I love it. Your success, your biggest success with your craft.
My biggest success. I guess my biggest success in my life was when I made my first sale. And that was when I was a teenager. Ooh. And I actually sold some of my items I made. I made bed dolls. Oh. And I had people, at my church that wanted to buy them. And it was unbelievable. And I only sold them for what I paid in the yarn. But to think that somebody wanted to buy something that I made was unbelievable to me, even way back then. So to me, that would have been my biggest success.
That gave you probably the biggest confidence boost.
It was unbelievable for a girl who was, 14, 15 years old. Aww. So that's my biggest success.
Is there an item for your craft that you would buy despite any money issues? It's like, no, I have to have it. The bills can wait. The family can wait. I have got to get this no matter what.
Well, I have my dream items, but can't afford it. I want a sock knitting machine, but I can't afford it.
A sock knitting machine?
Yeah, it's $2,500 in America.
Oh, that's right. Just find it down the back of the couch, Jennifer. So you're going to do?
Well, that's my dream item. So I have a dream item of that, but I still buy more yarn, and I have enough as it is.
Oh, I don't think so. Hardly anything there.
Is there ever enough?
No. No.
I mean, I know that I'll get my sock knitting machine eventually, because I had my dream to have an electric ball winder, and I have one. So eventually, I set those big goals for items I want to get, and I just save up my money slowly, and eventually I can achieve to get my goal, my dream goal. I saved, we were able to save up and to get the ball winder that was, $500, but I got it. If there's ever an item that you want really bad, you just, set that goal and you just slowly save up for it. Even if you save $1 a month, you can get there. And I got my ball winder. It might have taken months to get it, but I did.
And if you don't dream, you're never going to get there.
And I did. I got there, I got my yarn in my yarn room. This didn't happen overnight.
Oh, it didn't? Oh, well, that ruins the next question.
No, this did not happen overnight.
Okay, so aside from YouTube, aside from the yarny things, this is going to be a difficult one, I think. What are your other interests?
I loved audiobooks, and I love doing Sudoku puzzles, and crossword puzzles.
So it's keeping the brain trained.
Yes.
And then we go back to the strength of knowledge. Ta-da! So if something were to happen, whatever this may be, what would force you to stop your crochet and knitting?
Losing my hands.
Okay, nobody buy her a mini guillotine for Christmas, please.
That would be the only thing that would stop me, is if I didn't have hands to do it. But even then, I would try to figure out how to do it with my feet.
I was just about to say, you got feet, they got digits on them.
I don't think there's anything that could stop me from doing it. I've been doing it for so many years that even the blindness didn't stop me. I don't think there's anything, honestly, that could stop me from doing it. I still do it.
I love the fact that you push through no matter what. I will find a way. It might be dark there, but I'll look for a torch. If I can't find a torch, I'll find a match. Well done. I like the attitude. I do.
If I can't find that match, I'm going to feel my way. It doesn't matter.
Even better. See, the blindness comes down to a strength if needs be, because you've got your touch.
Yes.
You've got your touch. Let's do the same question, but for YouTube. So what would force you to stop YouTube?
What would force me to stop this? If my electricity went out?
No more electricity in the world.
My electricity goes out, or my vision gets so bad that I wouldn't be able to do it at all. That would be the only thing that I think that would stop me. But I do have talking abilities on my computer. Mm-hmm. So the computer does talk to me. But other than that, I really can't foresee any reason to stop YouTube. I really don't. I mean, my vision would have to get really, really bad for me to stop YouTube at all.
But I bet even then, knowing you would try and find a way.
I would find a way. I would get someone, because I already have a co-host. I guarantee you I would find a way with my co-host to do it. I guarantee you I'd find a way.
I love the determination, I do. When it comes to your craft, how do you decide what to make next?
I usually look at my yarn and see what inspires me and say, hey, I think I'm going to do that. Or somebody will reach out to me to do a pattern test, and I'll go ahead and do the pattern test. Whatever I'm in the mood for. I have pretty yarn, and I'll say, hey, I want to do the pretty yarn because it makes me feel good. Or I'll see some object, with the blindness. But I see something, or I think of something in my head that inspires me and makes me feel good, and I'll do it. I mean, it's just little things like that. I have multiple things going on at once, multiple projects at one time. So I can go back and forth between the projects to, that bring me joy. Because I love to always be happy and upbeat and stuff, and I like to have that joy. And with the visual impairment, I need to work on some projects kind of slowly, and then I have other projects I can do rather quickly. So I'll go and work on my slower project a couple rows at a time, and then do my quicker projects, slow project, a couple rows, and I go back and forth. But the inspirations pretty much comes from the yarn, especially when I'm doing creating my own pattern. It's the yarn. The yarn tells you pretty much what it wants to be.
The yarn speaks to you.
Yes. It does.
While you're around YouTube doing your videos, do you go through comments? Do you go through any emails that might come via YouTube members and try and seek feedback from them?
Absolutely. I go through comments every day, but it takes me longer to get through the comments than the average person, because I have to have the comments read to me by a screen reader. So it'll take me a lot longer to get through my comments than most other people. And I also have my email to get through, and my email has to be read to me. But I go through every single comment. Absolutely. And all of my emails I go through, and I answer my emails. I do my best to answer I do my best to reply to every comment. I will answer all questions. Absolutely. But yes, I go through all my comments and emails by myself.
Oh, there's no co-host there. My job's gone already. Well,
Yeah,
the interview's done, finished.
Yeah, the co-host is usually gone. Well, I should explain what my co-host does. I have my co-host on panel with me, and I actually have other co-hosts in the chat, and they are reading the chat for me because I don't see it. Yeah, Froggy cannot always read the chat. Sometimes I can catch part of it, but they will message me on my iPad, which you can't see here, but I have my iPad here. And that's usually where I can catch most of the chat, because I blow it up on my iPad rather large so I can see it. And they will contact me via Messenger, where on Messenger the bubbles are really, really huge. And any questions, anything really important, they hit me up on Messenger so that I can have the attention drawn to it. Or my co-host will actually acknowledge something or read something to me from the chat. Without my co-host, I don't know how I could do live streams.
I've got to say, just for the people that are listening in, there are times when Miss Jennifer will catch the chat before anybody else can. And we're sat there going, who, what, where? Oh, I didn't see them come in. She's got them before we get them. But yeah, this is Jennifer. When it comes to your work, your craft, how do you go about prioritizing your work?
Test patterns come first. Absolutely. That's pretty much how I prioritize it. Test patterns come first, unless of course I have something I've sold. Those are number one. But normally I don't. Normally I sell things I've already made. Very rarely do I do a commission. I have had commissions. If I get a commission, that's number one priority. But usually what I have is I do test patterns, and that's usually what I'm doing first, because rarely do I take a commission. That's a very rare item. But honestly, it's test patterns first, and then whatever else I want to work on.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Can you give an example to all of us when you've thought outside of the box, whether that be a YouTube idea or one of your crafty ideas?
When I've thought, I even thought outside the box for a while. I think my thinking outside of the box is my color choices. That would be my outside of the box kind of thing. Because of my color choices are normally very bright, unless I am making a wearable for myself. But yeah, my color choices are pretty bright, I think, as evidenced by that brightly colored sock.
Oh, the socks, yeah.
These are my personal socks. I mean, I wear them all the time. All Froggy wears are hand knit socks.
Aren't you guys glad this isn't smell-o-vision?
Yes.
Waving the socks around.
I did think out of the box when I created a hair bow that I want to do a test pattern on. And it's made with that Starbella yarn. And that was outside of the box doing the hair bow for this.
And it's dark.
It's black
Mm.
with gold on the edges. And it's made with that yarn where people would make those ruffly scarves that I hated.
We'll come on to that.
Oh, yeah. And I just made a hair tie, hair bow, whatever you want to call it. I decided to do that with it because I thought, what am I going to do with this yarn that I absolutely hate? And I'm like, oh, this is great because everyone's getting it from the dollar stores. And why not? And so I'm working so hard to get the tutorial out for people.
But you will. You will.
I will.
Slowly but surely you'll get there. So okay. let's go with, I may as well jump to this question because you've just kind of hinted on it. What trend from the past, we'll start from the past, can you just hold your hands up and say, oh, please no, it's not going to happen ever again?
That stupid ruffly scarf. I hated it. I hated it. Never made one. Absolutely hated it. Couldn't stand it. Never wanted to have the yarn for it. Not at all. But when it was $1, I got it. And then I thought, what am I going to do with this yarn? And that's when I, came up with the hair tie. But hated those ruffly scarves. I never understood them because to me, a scarf keeps you warm.
Mm-hmm.
So
fair enough. I'm so glad we just let you get that out of your system. You shake it off. It's an alternative Froggy dance.
Yeah.
What trend are you kind of all for and you really hope comes back? Of course, we're keeping with the yarny theme. We're not talking like, I don't know, hairstyle of curtains or anything, but yarny wise, what trend would you really love to come back?
I don't know. I guess it's already come back, but hooded sweaters.
Why hooded sweaters?
Because they're fun to make.
It's a good reason.
I mean, I've made one. It's a cardi. It is a card. Well, there goes the hood out of the way. But it's just a cardigan. It's just a cardigan, But yeah, it's a cardigan. There's the front. You can kind of see. There's the front. But I just put a hood on it. That's all.
I love that size hood.
But it's a big hood. I put a big, big hood on it. So it comes way down. But yeah, I guess like the hood thing to go with it. Just so it's something fun. I don't know. I kind of like the hood thing on it.
Okay, hood thing. Hood thing is going to come on trend. Hood thing.
a hooded sweater. I kind of like the hooded sweater.
With regard to trends, do you end up researching them or researching different materials, or do you just hear on the grapevine, or just, oh, I fancy doing that? Do you just keep it as the in the blinkers kind of thing?
Actually, I do pay attention to what's going on. I like to look at magazines, and yes, I can look at magazines with magnifiers. I like to watch other YouTubers and see what they're doing and what's going on. Whether I do what they're doing or not, I still like to see what's going on in the yarny community because it's important to me. I like to keep up to date with it.
That's I mean, I personally would say, well done you. Because not that many people do. They just go with the flow. What happens, happens. So well done for actually doing that. I would clap, but I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed. Have you ever just thrown your hands up, not for the froggy dance, thrown your hands up just and said, "That's it, I'm done, I give up, I'm finished," and then ended up coming back to it and going, "Actually, maybe not."
No. Well, I have some works in progress that are kind of in timeout because I will get bored with it and have to set it aside. And then I will go back to it later. So I don't think I've ever thrown my hands up to it and like frogged it out and stopped working on it completely. I always go back and finish the project. I never really give up because it's not in my nature to completely give up. I always have to go back and work at it again and persevere at the item because that's just me. There's no reason that I can't do it. I mean, I've been doing this long enough that I will persevere. I will find a way and I will accomplish it. And I do that in my everyday life. And whether it's in my knitting, my crochet work, my YouTube channel, everything that I do, I'm going to work at it and I'm going to accomplish it.
So really, for the most part, it's, I'll put that aside for the moment. I will go away, I will breathe, and when I've got a lung full, then I'll go back to it and try again.
Yes. Yeah.
Again, I would clap, but
well, sometimes I have to like stop and I got to think about it. And what I'm doing when I stop working on the project is I'm thinking it through. Did I do that? Did I do that correctly? Do I have to rethink the project? And I'm thinking the whole thing through. I'm thinking it through all the time. You know, I have a couple of works in progress right now, and I'm thinking them through. I'm going to go back and do them, but I'm thinking it through. Did I do that correctly? Did I mess the stitches up? Are my counts right? You know, and I'll go back and do them.
Again, well done. Like I said, I would clap, but you're not going to have any ears left because it'll be right next to the microphone, and it's not good. It's not good. I did miss the half-hour mark for the people in the chat, so I do apologise. Just very, very quickly, we've got 20 minutes left now of Froggy's interview, and then afterwards, the floor is opened up for the questions that have been coming in on the chat from everybody. So keep them coming in by all means. We will get to them in 20 minutes. Jennifer, sorry for the intermission. Has the way you've worked with your craft changed from when you first began?
Only because of my blindness. Other than that, it's never changed.
You've been in a nice comfort spot and carried it on.
Mm-hmm.
Can you name a time? And I mean, you've just touched on this, but you can expand or go to a slightly different one if you wish. Can you name a time when your patience was really tested, whether that be with YouTube or your yarniness?
Yeah, when my patience is being tested with a work in progress right now. I am doing a color control lotus flower blanket, and it is trying my patience, but I will persevere and I will complete the project. When you try to color control anything, it does try your patience, but I'm going to persevere through it and I will get it done. It's just right now it's in timeout because I got aggravated controlling the colors. But yeah, it does.
Now we know how to try your patience. I would note that, but I don't want to get smacked. For a beginner, I'm going to say knitter because of your channel name. So we're going to go with that. For a beginner knitter, what advice would you give to them?
My advice I would give to them is practice. Just practice, practice, practice. It took me quite a number of years of practice to get it down, and that's all it took was just trying over and over and over again and practicing repeatedly over and over and over again. Don't give up. Just keep going at it. Keep trying. You will get this. It's actually knitting is easier than crocheting. You can do it. You can do this. I have faith in you. You can do it.
Practice, practice, practice. Now the next question I do not want you to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Try not to think about. I want the first answer that comes out of your mouth, and you're not allowed to say yourself. Okay?
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What is your one favourite YouTube channel?
Bag a day.
Straight away. Why Bag a Day Crochet?
I think because we've both been crocheting for a very long time, and I love the way she does tutorials. I think they are amazing. If I want to do her pattern, I can actually listen to her. I don't have to watch it. But I love the when she does yarn reviews. They are amazing reviews. So if I want to purchase yarn online, I watch her videos and I know whether or not I want to buy that yarn online. She's very excellent at telling you what it feels like, what it compares to, and explaining the weight of the yarn. And she also lets you know exactly roughly what the cost is. And she tells you what the customer service was like. So I love those yarn reviews that she does. I can't get enough of those reviews. So that would be my favorite thing about watching her.
For anybody that would like to check out Froggywentaknitting's favourite channel, I will put that in the description underneath her personal links if you'd like to go and check Bag a Day Crochet out, if you haven't heard of her either. So back to Jennifer. And yes, I did pause the stopwatch for the 2 minutes that I interrupted. I apologise. Who would you love? I know where this is going. Who would you love to see in your channel that you haven't already?
Oh, that I haven't?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a lot harder for me to think about because I guess I would like to see Gary at Urban Yarns in my channel because I've already seen Crystal there. So I would love to see Gary at Urban Yarns come into my channel.
Gary at Urban Yarn. I think we might put the link also in the description, just if anybody's wanting to be a bit nosy and get to know the workings of the froggy mind a little bit more. Did you, Miss Jennifer, ever expect your channel to reach as many people as it has? I know this because you said it at the beginning, but we're going to go down that road.
No, never. I never ever expected to reach the people that I have. I've never expected people to watch me ever at all. Not at all.
Can we get a froggy thing going on?
It was trying to hold it back. I was holding it.
I kind of saw the pent upness with you.
No, I never expected it.
I felt like you needed to release.
I did.
Anytime you want to, my dear. This is you in the spotlight. Only you can be seen. You go for it if you want to. Okay. What is your favourite thing about having your own channel?
Oh, my favorite thing of having my own channel is being able to talk about whatever I want to talk about, being able to showcase other talent and, finding out what everyone else is making and inviting them up on panel and having them show what they've made. I love that interaction and being able to, hey, show me your work. Come on up and let's show your work. I like to be able to talk about blindness. I like to be able to talk about diabetes. I love that, being able to do that on my channel because I wouldn't be able to do it otherwise. That's pretty much why.
Going with that, sticking with your channel, if you had the capability to do whatever this will be, what would you change about your channel?
I'd go on more often.
I need time in the day, darn it.
Every day of the week. Every day of the week. I can't because I get too tired and worn out, but I would love to do it every day of the week.
I so hear you there. After every live, that's it. I'm done in for a good couple of days. It takes so much energy.
It does.
With YouTube still, ignore the craft for the moment, just for the moment. With YouTube, what advice would you give to them starting out?
Don't be nervous. Just do it. Don't be nervous. I was terrified that when I first started. Don't be nervous. Just go ahead and do it and be yourself. Be true to yourself and try it. It's a lot of fun.
I like that. You've got to be true to yourself. Otherwise, you're lying to yourself and everybody else. How long did it take for you to be confident in front of the camera?
A lot more longer than you think. I did my first video in the spring of 2019, and I didn't become confident in front of the camera until August of 2020.
But you found your confidence. It was there. You just had to get to it.
Yeah.
With your videos, how long does it take you to put out a non-live video? Roughly.
Not counting filming the video.
Everything, start to finish, on average, how long does it take you to put one out?
An 8-minute video. Filming the 8-minute video, and the 8-minute video, it takes me about 30 minutes.
I hate you. Okay, next question very quickly. Do you have a favourite part of the video making process?
Monetizing it.
Go on, go for it. Go for it. You may as well get it out your system.
Well, it's the monetizing it, but being able to, I like the part of putting in the description and the tags. I like that part.
You can come and do mine if you like. This is my worst part. I hate that bit. With your first video, can you remember what you feared about making that first video?
I feared looking like an idiot on camera because I really couldn't see it. And it took me quite a long time before I even knew how to look at the camera. Because remember, I can't see the camera very well. I know where it is, but knowing to look at the camera is difficult for me. And it was hard for me to learn how to do that. And I feared knowing I wasn't going to be able to look at the camera. I feared looking like a fool.
But you don't. You look like our Froggy. You look like Jennifer. And we love you for it.
Thank you.
Nails and all. Can you remember what you actually enjoyed about that first video?
Having the confidence to put it out there on YouTube. I actually found my confidence enough to publish it. And I think that's what I enjoyed most, because I didn't want to do it, but I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. And I pushed that button and I did it. And I actually was doing the whole pat on the back. You did it, girl. You had the confidence and you did it.
Well done. Well done. Let's go back to your craft. Let's partially forget about YouTube for a moment. With regard to your craft, who inspired you to start?
Oh, my dad's mother, my grandmother, because she is the lady that taught me to do it. So she inspired me. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I take it she was the one who taught you, or
Yeah.
did you learn by watch?
Oh no, well, I watched her, and I wanted to do it. So she's the one that put the hook in my hand, and she's the one that would hold my hand in hers, and she held tension and first taught me that way. Then she taught me to put the yarn through my fingers and held the hook still. She held my hand while I held the hook, and we did it that way. Then eventually I started doing it, but boy, it was kind of, I think at the time I was scared, but it took me a long time to learn because remember, I was only 5. But this lady had so much patience to teach a 5-year-old girl how to crochet. And it was a joy to learn from her. But what kind of a woman takes the time to teach a 5-year-old child how to crochet? And I
Someone
had
that loves
become,
that child.
I became proficient within 2 years.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Wow. You really were a sponge, weren't you? Well
Mm-hmm.
done. On YouTube, there's a lot of people doing collaborations.
Mm-hmm.
We've all heard of them.
Yeah.
Most of us know roughly what a collaboration is. So, Jennifer, do you do collaborations?
I would love to do collaborations. I don't do them at the moment, but that would be a wonderful thing to do.
So, who would you like to do a collaboration with? Can you name one or two or three, or can you name anyone that you can particularly come up with?
Anybody. I would collaborate with anyone. Blind Needle, was it Blind Needle or Blind? No, it's Blind Stitch. Blind Stitch, I think, had mentioned wanting to do a collaboration. I would love to do a collaboration with anybody. I am all for it. I think it's a great idea.
In
Absolutely.
that case, anybody in the chat that is a crocheter or knitter, if you'd like to take part in a collaboration, Froggy's information will be in the description after a few minutes after this interview. Please go and hit her up. Not literally, we don't want any injuries, thank you. But please, 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 let's get a collaboration going because she's keen, she's eager, and she can. Woo! Okay. With your craft, do you ever involve children?
Yeah, I taught my children. So, 5 children, I taught them. Seriously, they taught them all.
Do they
So,
still do it?
yeah, not on a regular basis, but they can all still do it. And it was wonderful to teach them, and I enjoyed every minute of it. Only 2 of them still do it, but yes.
Well done. So you had the patience to teach them.
Yes.
Now, you said with the knitting, one piece of advice. I want you to disregard that for a moment. And what would you say is your number one craft tip to anybody else? Something that maybe only came to you like last week, maybe, but something that you is there and you're like, oh, I wish I'd known sooner.
Oh, I don't really have any that I wish I knew sooner. Number one craft tip, I think, would be have good tools.
Yeah.
Have really good, have good tools. That doesn't mean the most expensive, but have good tools to do your craft. And that goes across all crafts.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you start with good tools, you're not going to have a problem. If you have garbage tools, you're going to have all kinds of problems doing whatever craft you're doing.
Yeah.
So start with good tools, and you're not going to have a problem whether you're trying to learn or you're proficient at it. Just use some good tools. That doesn't mean you need the top of the line most expensive item. Just get some good tools. Mm-hmm.
Your craft room, you're sat in it, we can see it.
Yeah.
It's around you.
Mm-hmm.
If you could, completely free of charge, Bear that in mind. Free of charge. Get a makeover done of your craft room. What would you get done?
Oh my gosh, what would I do? I would add a couple more shelves and some different lighting, and that'd be it.
So you're near enough at perfection as it is for you then.
Yeah.
I never thought of lighting. I answered this one for myself, and I didn't even think of lighting. So mine would be a black room, really. Okay. With regard to your craft, holidays, not just sunny beaches and off to Mexico. I mean holidays like Valentine's Day, Easter, Christmas, Hanukkah, Thanksgiving, etc. Which holiday do you prefer to craft for?
Halloween.
I knew that was coming.
Halloween, because you can make all kinds of pumpkins and ghosties. I love Halloween. It's probably one of my favorite holidays. But I love to craft for Halloween. It's a lot of fun.
I knew that was coming. Bear with me. Sorry. Shush you. Sorry about that. I apologise. I've got 2 questions left, and then it's over to the chat. What is the most favourite project you have ever made in history? Ever made?
It's a pair of socks. And you've seen them.
It had to come back to socks, didn't it? We started at socks, it came back to socks.
Yeah, it's my favorite sock. They're my favorites because they're like rainbow and they're really pretty, and they're called I call them fruit stripe gum. So they're my favorites, and that's my favorite project I ever did. So yeah, that's my favorite project of all time.
Wow. And she still got them, as we can see, which would have come with the question, but she beat me to it. So that's fine. So we've gone back to the socks. All good. As long as they're not cheesy, we're all good. Your last question from me, Jennifer. While you're sitting there doing your craft, or standing, whichever is your preference, what do you tend to snack on, if anything?
Cashew peanuts. Cashew nuts.
Oh, I love cashews. Oh, I would so go with you there. If I had a bowl of cashews, I don't think I'd get much work done, but still.
And peppermint.
It's a frog!
Well, that peppermints. So cashews are peppermints.
Right, bear with me one moment. I am muting. Entertain them just for a minute with one froggy dance.
I don't mind doing it.
It's like she doesn't really need much
encouragement.
Yeah, my words are gone. The piece of paper with the questions on is out of my reach, and now I'm like, duh. Encouragement. Yes, of course, encouragement. She doesn't need much encouragement. Okay, so there have been a few questions in the chat. You have been a very popular lady. But what I will say is somebody, 2 people have stated a comment that I couldn't let bypass. It's not a question, it's something that you need to know because, you know, they've passed it on. So Jamie Northern Mama. Why did I say Mama? Sorry, Mama. Bad accent. Froggy. I'm legally blind, 2200 in my one eye I have left. It's been a fun ride learning the fibre arts. Oh,
you're going to make Froggy cry. That's so sweet. I am so proud that you are having a fun ride with the fiber arts. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I am super happy for you and super excited that you are enjoying it. And keep going. It doesn't matter about your vision. Just use your hands. My hands are now my eyes, and it works. And it works great, and you can do it too. keep going and keep at it.
Love it. One more that I spotted before we get onto the questions. Ingrid Kotz has said, I'm absolutely in awe of you, Froggy. You are going to be my inspiration to get knitting right.
Well, you can do it. I do it. You can do it. We all can do it. We all can knit. We can all crochet. It can be done easily. All you have to do is just try it and keep trying. Keep trying. I didn't learn knitting in just a few months. I learned knitting in a few years. It took me multiple tries, and I just kept going, and I kept trying. And I finally figured it out. For me, I had to figure out how the stitches worked. And when I finally realized how the stitches interlocked, all of a sudden, light bulb. And now I can knit. So just keep trying. You will get it, and I have faith in you.
Oh, determination. You need Froggy determination. One thing that I wish you weren't so determined with, because the chat went a little bit not haywire, but there were certainly a few comments in there. People want to start a Froggy blindfold challenge.
Yes, do the Froggy blindfold challenge and hashtag Froggywentaknitting or Froggy blindfold challenge.
I think you should get a video up as soon as you can, as soon as you're able. Get that challenge started, and let's see how many people have, one, got the guts to do it, and two, who can do it. Got to try it. I'd say get that video up. As soon as you get out there, you get to work, girl.
I would love to see people do it. I'd love to see it. And you're right. I will have to make that video. I agree with you. Thank you for that, Ladybird. Absolutely.
I so wish I'd never said it.
I agree. I should get people to do the blindfold challenge.
I think you should. I'll be up for it. I'm going to hate you for it, but I'm up for it. Okay, Miss Cocktails and Crochet with Coco has asked, you mentioned pattern testing. How difficult is it to see the written pattern to be able to test it?
I have a magnifier, and for me, I have no problem pattern testing. Look, Coco. Look, Coco. Does that look familiar?
That looks familiar to me.
No, I have no problems pattern testing. Not at all. I've been pattern testing for many, many years. And I have no problem reading patterns now. I have a magnifier in real life, and I'm able to scan the documents when they're in paper form and put them and view them digitally. And I blow them up in digital form, and I can see them very simply.
Mm-hmm. Nice and easy then, really. Just
yeah.
as, I mean, I can't read a pattern to save my life, so you're way up above me. Magnifiers or not, it ain't happening with me. But I have determination, and I'm determined to keep trying, so I hope it sticks. Okay, again, Miss Ingrid Kotz has asked, I so hope I'm saying your surname correct, Ingrid. I'm really, really sorry if I'm not. For a learner knitter who wants to knit socks, your speciality, what would your recommendation be to start on? Circulars or DPNs, and a channel to learn from the best?
Honestly, you should use double pointed needles. Honestly, it looks like they're going to be hard, but you're only using 2 needles at a time. And double pointed needles really are your best bet. That little tiny circular needle is very cumbersome to hold on to. Now, if you want to use a circular, you need the larger circular so that you can do it that way. Don't use that little tiny itty bitty circular needle. It's extremely difficult to work with. But doing a circular needle, it's not a problem. I think that you should learn to use double pointed needles. That's my opinion only. However, you can go ahead and use a circular. The problem would be if when you're going to turn to work on the other half of the sock, you'll lose your loop of the knitting needle loop in the sock, and now you got to try to find it again. With double points, you don't have a problem.
So have you got a channel that goes with that you can think of, that you can say, oh yeah, you should go and have a look at this channel, they can help you out?
Not off the top of my head, but I will try to figure one out.
If you could, that'd be wonderful. And whether you can pass it on to Ingrid or send it to me and I can do it, whichever. If you could help out, that'd be brilliant. See, and then you've inspired somebody else.
I'm gonna look it up and I'll pass it on to you, Ingrid.
There's 3 more little bits here, and then you can run away, Froggy. You can run away. From Yarn Geek, Miss Ginger has asked, do you crochet socks?
I have crocheted socks, but I did not necessarily like the way they felt on my feet. But I do crochet socks as well. I just happen to like the way the knitted socks are better. But I do crochet slippers instead.
With regard to the crocheting of the socks, can you think of any patterns or tutorial? Again, off the top of your head, you're going to probably have to come back to her or to me.
I'm going to have to come back to, because I honestly do my own patterns.
Oh, spoiler! You heard that, Yarn Geek. Cha-ching! Okay, last question. Oh, no, not question. Sorry, that was the last question, but there's 2 more little statements. Hang on. Can't do that just yet. Hang on. This is from Crochet Nana, aka Michelle. She said, I taught my granddaughter when she was 5, but she put it down for a while and now is picking it up back up thanks to Granny D and Mama Swift, who are her idols. Oh, more in the fibre arts.
That's wonderful.
Woo! You gotta start them when they're young. And there's a lot of people, there have been a lot of people saying you are such an inspiration. You're a wonderful, warm-hearted woman. Your determination is something to leave people in awe. You're just amazing. The overall chat is that you're just an awesome, wonderful, wonderful lady, and keep being you. And now we can all run away. Bye.
I didn't know that. I had no idea, because I mean, I didn't even think people would watch me. I mean, I'm serious. I never knew anybody would watch me, so I'm flattered. I'm so flattered. I can't begin to tell you how flattered I am.
Well, you could. You could begin to show us.
I'm overly flattered. I'm overly excited. I cannot believe that you people would want to watch me. Why do you want to watch Froggy? I can't believe it.
Because we like the frog helicopter. Go for it.
Y'all are so, you're amazing.
Right, my darling Jennifer, Froggy went a knitting. This has been your hour in the spotlight. I appreciate you coming. Thank you very, very much. We are getting your links together to stick in the description for anybody that wants to go and take a look at things that Jennifer has let us know about. That is her shops, her favorite YouTube channel, her idol on YouTube. If you want to go and have a look, please do. And of course, please subscribe, because you know you get to see the Froggy helicopter.
Yeah.
I mean, why else would you? Why wouldn't you?
Froggy dance.
Anybody that's watching this replay, thank you very much for popping along and watching. And anybody that is in the chat now, thank you very, very much. There is so much love going to you, and everybody's saying that they love you. You're amazing. You're awesome. You're great. So thank you very much, my darling. Now I'll do the applause. Thank you very much, everybody, for popping along. Please don't forget to hit that thumbs up and go and take a look at our Froggy. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.